Good evening, I'm Preston Latin. This is News Now with your news, weather, and sports. Breaking right now, Japan has attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, Hitler is on rampage in Europe, and soon we'll all be feeling the effects of World War II right here at home. Hold on, I'm told now that President Franklin D. Roosevelt is speaking to Congress. Let's listen in.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Okay, well, we'll continue to monitor the events in Washington, but right now, I can tell you, there are thousands of young Americans signing up to go to war. They're leaving their families and loved ones behind to defend the world's freedom. In fact, we caught up with one of the local men who joined the Army as soon as he turned 18. His name is Art Wissing, and he gave us this interview.
I was 18 when I finished high school, and I told my mom and dad that I wanted to go into the service. And they said, "You thinking about it?" I said, "I'm not thinking about it, I want to go."
Art was a nose gunner flying over Germany in B-24 bombers. He was one of the lucky ones to make it home alive. Tens of thousands of others would not. And all those empty seats at dinner tables across the country were just part of the war's effect on America here at home.
Bombs away.
For more on that, let's go live now to reporter Bill Rockefeller. All right, well, thanks, Preston. I'm standing outside of Thornton's on Westport Road right now, and gas prices have hit record high. But if you think this is bad, you should see what Americans had to put up with during World War II. Back then, the government wanted to make sure there was enough gas to put in airplanes and tanks in Europe and the South Pacific, so they put a cap on how much gas you could buy. In most cases, you could only buy 1 or 2 gallons a week, depending on what kind of gas ration card you had. All right, Preston, back to you. I gotta go find $100 to fill up my tank. Thanks, Bill. And now, back to the year 1941. We're now getting word that women are turning in their stockings to help make parachutes for the Army. And President Roosevelt is asking that Americans recycle as much scrap metal and rubber as they can. The war also forced Americans to ration food here on the home front. Let's go over to reporter Fred Meyer with more on that. Preston, I'm standing here inside of Kroger in Middletown, and as you can see, the shelves are bare. But if you think this is bad, you should have seen how it was in the 1940s. The U.S. government made people ration food to make sure soldiers had enough to eat while fighting the war overseas. People had to have war ration stamps to buy things like butter, sugar, meat, and canned goods, and you could only get so much. Well, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. Now, where could I find this baby formula? Good luck with that, Fred. Good luck. And now let's get a check on weather with meteorologist Kevin Harned. Kevin, is the World War having an effect on our weather here at home?
No, Preston. The war is thousands of miles away from here. It'll have no impact on our weather here at home.
All right, thanks, Kevin. We'll check back with you in a few minutes anyways. And now, a word from our sponsor, the U.S. government, about what to do if your city is attacked.
Don't hesitate. Find cover. Everyone is in on this. Strangers will understand. Finding shelter quickly may save your life. If you can't get into a house, get behind a wall or a steep embankment on the side away from the city.
Welcome back to News Now with Preston Latin. I'm Preston Latin. There's news now that World War II has shut down production of cars and trucks in America. Let's go live to news reporter Don Johnson in Detroit with more on that. Thanks, Preston. I'm standing outside the Ford plant right now where they've stopped producing cars and they've started building airplanes for the war. And back to you, Preston. Thanks, Don. In other news, with thousands of men fighting overseas, there's lots of holes left in the workforce. So women are filling jobs like never before. They're working in factories making uniforms, bombs, tanks, ships, and airplanes. and they're taking on the nickname Rosie the Riveter. It was a big step in what we know today as the women's movement. And now, time for sports. For the first time ever, the federal government is canceling the Kentucky Derby, claiming that it was a waste of valuable resources that were more needed to fight the war in Europe and the South Pacific. Hold on. What's this? We have breaking news. All right, folks, Germany has surrendered. The war in Europe is over. And I'm now being told the ban on horse racing has been lifted. So the Kentucky Derby will go on, but not until June. That's the only time in history the Derby wasn't held in springtime until, of course, 2020, when the coronavirus pandemic delayed it until September. Well, I'm glad that's over. Now let's get another check on the weather with Kevin Harnett. Kevin, has there been any change in the forecast due to the war?
Sorry, Preston, no change here. The weather is still the same, and the war is still 1,000 miles away. It's the weather, one of the few things the war is not affecting here at home.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll be sure to check back with you anyways. That's going to do it for News Now. For now, I'm Preston Lawton. Good night.